Do you have all the time you need to get everything you need done in your life? I coach a lot of small business owners and DM'd 20 of them on LinkedIn recently, and the number one issue and challenge they struggle with is the lack of time. A lack of time to work on their business, but also lack of time for their families, for their kids, for their partners. And yeah, it's sad. And remember that word because at the end of this video, it's going to become a lot more important to you. SAD. So what I want to do is share 7 simple steps, relatively easy steps that you can start employing today to buy back your time. And I did this in my business. I bought back almost all of my time and really created massive time freedom through my business. So I'm going to basically share what I did, and it's a relatively easy process. It doesn't mean there's not work involved. There is. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but anyway, here we go. So there's 7 relatively easy steps. The first one is to track your tasks. And when I say track your tasks, I really mean that. Track all of the recurring tasks that you do during the day, during the week, on a sheet of paper. Carry a field notes, pocket journal, index card, use your iPhone and use Apple Notes and capture the tasks that you do on a recurring basis there. What I'm going to ask you to do is track your tasks, not your time. I think one of the problems I've had with my coaching clients is, to a T, they're pretty good at writing down their tasks, but when it comes to actually tracking the time it takes for them to do the tasks, that's where things derail. So I have moved away from that and just suggest that you write down your recurring tasks. Now, there's a key to this, and that is do this for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. If you do it for 2 or 3 weeks, you will capture 90%, if not 95 or 98% of your recurring tasks. But here's the key. You only write a task down that you do multiple times, one time on the sheet of paper. Only once. Don't write it twice. Don't write it 3 times. Don't write it 10 times. Just capture it once. So if you capture it on the first day of this exercise and the second day you find yourself doing that task again, you don't have to write it down. Pretty simple, right? So step 1, pretty easy. Find some sort of a system, analog or digital, and simply capture and write down your tasks that you do, recurring tasks, okay? Number 2 is, once you've done that exercise, and again, I would give it about 2 or 3 weeks, take those tasks, and what you're going to find is you probably, if you're like most small business owners, you're going to have about 20, 25, 30 tasks, possibly as many as 50, but I doubt it. Usually it's somewhere in the 25 to 30, 35 range. Just put those into a simple spreadsheet. It could be Microsoft Excel, could be Google Sheets. Get them into a spreadsheet, and you're going to have a few columns where you're going to categorize your tasks. The first column will be what type of task it is. And really, I divide the tasks into 4 high-level categories. First is it an executive task? Is it what the business owner should be doing, would be doing in the normal course of business as, again, the strategic CEO of their company? Is it a managerial task? Is this a task that one of their frontline managers would do? And again, you may be, in terms of your size, you may not have a management team yet. We'll get there. But if you might someday have a manager, director of marketing and sales, a manager, director of client fulfillment. For appraisers, that would be maybe an appraisal services director. Again, a manager of finance and administration, possibly your office manager, operations director, whatever. Those are managerial positions, and you want to go through each task. And if it's a task that a manager would do, then you label it in that column manager, managerial task. Third category is technician. Again, I come out of the commercial real estate appraisal space, so, technical people or professional people that we would have in our business would include appraisers, appraisal assistants, reviewers, and in the other areas of the business, you might have a marketer, you could have a web developer, you could have a salesperson, office administrator, office assistant, administrative assistant. Those would all be what I would categorize as technical tasks. Then you've got admin tasks. And again, this would really more fall into the finance and administration or back office systems of your company, accounting, bookkeeping, HR related, IT related, insurance, legal, compliance, all those sorts of tasks, the admin that goes on in your business. If you're doing one of those tasks, you'd categorize as admin. So again, you want to categorize your tasks in these 4 high-level categories: executive, managerial, technical, and administrative. Once you've done that, the next column, you'd label it energy. And it's really simple. As you go down this list of tasks, you want to ask yourself, does this task give you energy, build you up? Are you excited about it? Do you enjoy doing it? Or does it sap your energy? Is it something that you really don't look forward to and you procrastinate on? You don't want to do it. You don't enjoy doing it. With that, that would take your energy away. Or is it relatively neutral? You can take it or leave it, if you will. It doesn't really give you a lot of energy. It doesn't take your energy away. So that, that third column, the energy column, gives you energy, takes energy away, or neutral. Then the fourth column would be, kind of what to do with this task. And there's 5 basic things you can do. There's probably more, but this is what I suggest you do. And I suggest you use a key. And the capital letters that you'd put in this column for a task, and just so you know, you can put more than 1 letter in. So it could be 1 letter, 2 or 3 letters. K would be tasks that you really want to keep doing. They're either executive or managerial tasks, and they give you energy. Those are tasks that you want to keep doing. X would be for those that you want to X out, you want to delete them, you want to get them out of your life, you want to stop doing them, and actually delete those tasks. They're tasks that really don't add any value. It could be surfing the internet. It could be any number of basically meaningless tasks that don't really add value to your life, to your business. They don't help you achieve your longer term goals. So X would be tasks that you basically want to delete and stop doing. S would be for tasks that you want to systemize. These would be tasks that at some level, either you and or the people that you delegate them to, you're going to start to document those. That's a topic for another video or a video series on how to systemize your business. But basically, S is tasks that you want to systemize. And we'll get into that a little bit more, again, in future videos, if you're interested. A are tasks that you want to automate. And it's really important to think smart and not just work hard. Documenting your key recurring processes, systemizing those, automating those is some of the smartest work that you can do. So when I say automate, using a tool like Text Expander for things that you would repeatedly have to type out in hundreds, if not thousands of emails over the years, which you can just create a simple, control P for, an email signature designed for a certain type of client that you're reaching out to. And you type that email signature once and it's 3 or 4 lines. you put a couple keystrokes to it, and you automate that. So from now on, when you do an email, you just do Control P and boom, it throws in the email signature. You can automate a ton of recurring things that you do, and each one takes a few seconds to a few minutes. But using tools like Text Expander, and there's other keystroke automation tools like that, or software automation tools like Zapier, I don't know how you're actually supposed to pronounce it, Zapier, or Make, Infogrommet. Those three are kind of the top software in the automation space. If there are recurring software interactions between software platforms or database platforms that you have where you have to physically, or one of your people have to physically go in and re-enter data in another platform. When something happens over here, you can spend the time and use Make or Zapier or Infogrommet, and you can automate that. And boy, I'll tell you, it's probably one of the most important things you can do in your business is take the time to actually automate the things that can be automated. It takes time to do, but once you've done it, it frees up so much time. It's almost geometric, exponential, because this is something you do over and over and over again, sometimes hundreds, if not thousands of times in your business, or your people do. So taking the time, thinking smart, automating those tasks, that's huge. Then D is for delegation. What tasks do you may not be delegating them now. It's stuff you are doing now yourself, but you need to delegate it. So D is for delegate. So again, this fourth column, K is for keep doing, X is to stop doing and delete, this task basically from your life. S is you want to systemize it. A is you want to automate it. D is you want to delegate it, okay? The next column, the fifth column, is just a simple time estimate for how much time on a weekly basis you feel that you spend doing this particular task. And I don't recommend that you actually use time tracking tools. I think it's too much work. I don't think there's a good enough payoff to it. And quite candidly, it's a stumbling block for most business owners. They don't do it. And so they don't do this process at all. I think you can guesstimate it pretty simply. And so write down, you spend an hour a week, 2 hours a week, 10 hours a week, whatever it is. And then obviously down at the bottom of that, for all these recurring tasks, you're going to come up with an average time, and then you can play around and adjust the figures, but how many hours you're working a week. And most business owners, it's not 40 hours, it's 60 or 70 or 80 or more. And so, adjust things until you feel like you've got a pretty good handle on that. Okay, great. Now, the third step is to simply sit back and analyze those tasks. The first one is pretty easy. Go down through that list, sort the list by, that fourth column and group it, by that. And all those that have an X in it, the ones you need to stop, write those down, get that in front of you every day and stop doing that stuff. Okay. And what you're going to find is you probably free up 8 hours a week just by stopping doing some stuff that doesn't add value. So that's the first thing you do. The second thing is to look at, those tasks to systemize and group those together and prioritize them. What would be the easiest thing to systemize? And, what are the first processes that you can document? Most of the work we do is on computers. And I recommend people either use Loom or Descript. I really like Descript. I think it's fantastic screen recording software. It transcribes everything you do. You basically hit a button when you're working on your computer on a task, and it'll video record you working, a little picture of you down in the corner. It shows what you're doing in the computer. You simply say, hey, here's what I'm doing, and it transcribes all that. And that's the beginning of a standard operating procedure. So, analyze your tasks. Which ones should you stop doing? Which ones should you systemize first? And then the third item is, based on all this, what's your next hire or what's your first hire? For a lot of self-employed business owners, it's either, a technical assistant. In my case, it would have been an appraisal assistant or an administrative assistant to help you with the office admin work, or a combination of the two. My first hire, actually, I had her do some of both of those until we hired more appraisers and trainees and analysts, and then she could be full-time office manager. Okay, so now you've tracked your tasks, you've categorized your tasks, you've analyzed your tasks. The fourth step is to create a playbook for your next hire, whatever that next hire is, things you're doing that you can delegate, get off your plate. You want to use Loom or Descript. I prefer Descript. And also a Word document or a Google Doc, whatever. Just take a few minutes and think through everything you do in that role. So for me as an appraiser, there was a lot of grunion, low-level trainee assistant type work in, researching comps, researching subject property information, entering data into databases, setting up the report templates. It was a lot of low-level work. And, you can simply just start with a fairly simple outline of what that position entails. And then, if nothing more, just come up with that outline. That's almost good enough in the beginning. So create just a simple playbook. It could be a simple checklist on one page. It could be a 3-page document where you flesh out those bullet points a little more. It could be a 10, 15, 20-page document. In my appraisal business, for our analysts, we created ended up being, I think, 198-page analyst guide. And it had screenshots and a description, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, all the things that an analyst needed to do during the course of a day to assist the appraiser in setting up an appraisal report. Truthfully, I created a very simple outline to start with, and then I delegated it to the new hire to actually document what they do and to create that playbook for themselves, letting them know that at a future date, we're going to promote them or transfer them into another role that fits their unique abilities better, and that they're going to use this playbook to train train the person that's going to take over their position so they can be promoted. So, just knock it out. Don't make it a big deal because you're going to delegate that to that new hire. So that's the fourth step. The fifth step is to actually hire that next team member. And again, I'm going to do videos on the whole HR, recruiting, onboarding, training, performance management systems that you need in a small business. But, the bottom line is figure out how to, hire a lower level person for tasks that you're doing that aren't your highest and best use. Hire that next team member. Then step 6 is delegate to them using this playbook. Again, the very first job requirement is that they're going to document all of the recurring tasks that they do in their job, in their role with your business. So you've already got the beginning of a playbook, and the orders are, okay, I'm going to train you and whatnot. You're going to take copious notes. You're going to record with your iPhone what we do together. And from that, you're going to flesh out this playbook for your position. And, so that if you want to go on vacation, we can cross-train somebody to backfill. If you have family leave and need to leave for a couple months to be with your newborn child, here's this playbook to assist the person that would step into your position temporarily. So, also it's here to train the person that when we promote you, you can train your replacement. So 6 is delegate using the playbook. And then 7, and I've already alluded to it, their number one task in their position is to document all of the key recurring processes that they do day in and day out in their position. So there you have it. I used that acronym early on. People don't have enough time for this, that, and the next thing. And it's really sad. And I thought, it is sad. We work our butts off working in our business as technicians and professionals, and we don't have the time to actually work on the business and build really successful, systemized businesses. So I thought, what's the essence of this? Well, it's to, yes, it's to track your tasks, but ultimately it's to systemize those, automate, and then delegate those tasks. So SAD, systemize, automate, and delegate. So anyway, if you enjoyed this content, if it's valuable to you, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm new on YouTube. This is my 5th video. I'm trying to do a video a day to help small business owners. Most of my business coaching clients are in the commercial real estate appraisal space, either want to be business owners, appraisers who have just gone out on their own and started up and, are basically self-employed, but really want to build real businesses, or appraisers that have some employees, have, over 500,000, a few over $1 million in annual revenue and want to take it to the next level. So I scaled my firm from 6 to 7 figures and ultimately sold it for a healthy 7-figure payday, all cash. And I'm trying to help other small business owners. It's what I'm passionate about. So please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me a lot. And if you'd like to learn more about our Founder 2X or our Appraiser 2X coaching program, please go to my website at calvincummings.com and check out the information there. You can book a free consult call, and we'd just like to help you any way we can. Thank you. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.